That's probably the most I've cried over football ever. My heart would just always be heavy. Like there was some days where I would just cry before going to practice. Like I didn't want to go to practice.
It almost becomes this like psychological warfare of
That's
like,
exactly what it is. If this doesn't go right, this is the end of the world. Like that's just how it felt every single day.
what made you not give up after Georgia Tech?
I was never gonna let a man, a coach, or even a staff make me feel like I don't want to do this anymore. You know, in recruiting, right? Like everybody loves you. Everybody tells you that, we're gonna have a relationship. It's just like a feel like when you get there that y'all are gonna be best buds for some reason because that's just how they come off while they're recruiting you, trying to get you to come to the school. Getting there, I've realized that it was not that at all like that. You know what I'm saying? Big brother, younger son, or father figure, son figure, whatever that relationship dynamic looks like with the person that was recruiting you, your position coach, your offensive coordinator, defense, whatever that is, it was not
This
that
went
at
out the
all.
window
Like
as soon as you got there.
yeah, as soon as I got there, after the day I moved in, because my mom was still there. So, I'm gonna be real. College coaches, they want to hold face in front of the parents. They don't ever want the parents to know like the real. The face is still on. You know what I'm saying? The face is still here. The day after they left and went home, I was in college for real, for real. It was just like a whole new person. You know what I'm saying? From my position coach to my office, like just everybody. You know what I'm saying? And so that was a culture shock. And then once we get to practice, right? Like new kid, freshman. You know what I'm saying they had a very big expectations for me coming in as a player just because I was so highly recruited. But at the end of the day, like I said, like the playing, the competing, like I was great on that. But like I still had a high school understanding of what football is, and there's so many just intricacies when it comes to the plays and things like that. And like there was a sense of like, wow, this is really like a business because there was no feelings involved when it comes to like giving me patience or grace with learning. It just takes that moment if you don't already know, because nobody ever told me. So going in, I'm thinking these are my brothers, these are, you know what I'm saying, father figures, these are people, mentors, these more family oriented, emotional connections with these people. Nobody ever told me that. So I think once you get past that initial like, whoa, like this is not what I thought it was.
It kind of creates like a heartbreak.
Yeah, it's a heartbreak for sure.
Yeah.
That was honestly
It's
like,
now learning football differently than what you knew.
yes, 1000%. That heartbreak is so real. Like so many guys just go through it their freshman year, and probably one of the toughest years of my career, honestly. And I've been playing since I was 5 years old, just because of the mental. Like there was some days where I would just cry before going to practice. Like I didn't want to go to practice.
What were kind of now the like challenges you were now facing or the, mental thoughts, like what were you kind of going through now?
Because when I kind of first got there, I was going through these mental battles, but I was still kind of producing. Like, because in the spring, when you first get there, it's really about just wanting to see your raw talent, wanting to see you play. Now looking at it, I understand that. But in the time, I'm just thinking like, I'm killing it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying I would mess up plays, have MAs, do things wrong. But like when you just talk about raw talent and performing, like I was killing it. So I kind of felt good about myself. And I'm like, dang, maybe I can pack this team. You know what I'm saying? Going into Saturdays in the fall. Fast forward to fall. Fall is more so execution, detail oriented. Who are our guys that we can trust that know the plays, that know the information, can retain it, are coachable, things of that nature. So obviously, again, I struggled there. You know what I'm saying? And we get to the season just because it was a learning curve for me, and I had no one to, because your meetings, they go so fast, and they're coaching other guys as well, which you can also learn from, but it's just going so fast, and what they ask you to do, sometimes it's just hard to pick it up if you're just simply meeting during that time and then going home and try to study. I needed someone like a real GA to like help, or older brother in the room to really like sit me down, say, hey man, you have a lot of potential, you can perform, you can help this team, let me help you. And you know, this is where the politics come in as well. Not saying that other guys in the room were threatened, but they also have a stature to hold as the starter, as a second string player. So when a new guy comes in that's performing and the only thing he doesn't have is the understanding of the playbook, as a starter or a second string guy, most of the time they're not gonna take you under the wing
Right.
and like just give you the
Yeah,
game.
yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Like
And
figure
so
it out
yeah, kind of
yourself.
just like
Yeah.
that's kind of how it felt. Like they were good guys, you know what I'm saying?
But there's a
W-
threat. There's an
yeah,
ego there, you know. There's
exactly,
like they don't want you to take their spot.
exactly,
Everyone
exactly,
is every man for themselves, you
exactly.
know? I mean, knowing what you know now, how would you have approached that time differently?
Um, I would have forced finding a way for like somebody in this facility is gonna help me learn this.
Yeah.
Like I kind of just
Took the backseat.
yeah, it's like oh shoot, nobody's really helping. I don't really know. But that also came from the way that the environment was structured. I didn't even feel comfortable
Right.
to say, "Hey, somebody needs to help me learn this," because it wasn't a it was
A
I don't
disconnect,
I
yeah.
don't wanna say dictatorship, but, like, it's kinda like
A
guys
hierarchy.
yeah, like,
A
guys don't feel
hierarchy.
comfortable
Yeah.
coming in just, like, asking for help. Like, that's not something especially as a freshman that's getting cussed out on Tuesday's practice, you know what I'm saying? Now, if you're the starting quarterback, okay, because everybody loves you in the facility, but it's like that environment was just like an environment where it's like we all kinda, like, walked on eggshells, especially as new guys and, you know, people that are just getting adjusted, don't really have much college experience, kinda just walking on eggshells because at any given moment, you feel like you're being put under a microscope as like what you're doing wrong, you know?
Right. I know that you had told me you had mentorships that kind of stepped up for you during that time, some pros, some really important people in your life that kind of helped you pave the road. Take me through those experiences and those people.
Unfortunately, but fortunately that I had somebody, Christian Miller, my big brother. We're not blood, but like that's we couldn't be any closer. He's at the Saints now. He was at Georgia last season. We met through one of my old agents, and we actually got really close when I separated from Georgia Tech. Because you know that rivalry, Georgia Tech, Georgia, we weren't really like super close when I was at Georgia Tech. But once I had stepped away after spring football and was like, okay, I'm entering the portal. He actually took me under his wing. We lived together for the whole month of May.
And now
Uh,
tell me about this lifestyle you were living because you told
yeah,
me a little bit about it.
yeah.
So,
No, he definitely opened my eyes on how to be a true pro, and that's why I like my habits now are just off the charts. But during this time, we had a private chef. He would cook Monday through Friday, even Saturday if it
living
was on.
lavish.
Yeah, yeah.
Training, right? You guys had trainer
Training
gym in
two
there.
2 days.
You were
Uh,
just living the NFL pro experience.
yeah, masseuse, 2 days a week. It was just like clockwork. Like wake up in the morning, go train, come back, eat, go train, come back, eat, and then every night we would just go on the balcony and just talk. You know what I'm saying? And that's where the game came from. Like I feel like that month was so big to my development as a player, speed. You know what I'm saying? Technical
Person,
work,
all of
what
it,
you
yeah.
know, all of that. But my mind was the biggest thing because he was a 4-year vet, 3-year starter, like type guy that was just pouring everything that he was poured, somebody poured into him, pouring out to me. And it's honestly it's a blueprint to this thing. It's a blueprint. So he's just pouring out to me all the knowledge
What
about
were
the
some of those,
politics.
like, 1 or 2 things that just, like, stuck with you the most and then maybe even, like, changed your brain chemistry, like, you were like, "Whoa."
Yeah, I think number one is that like politics never die, like no matter what. Like I said, he was dang near the face of the defense behind, you know, CJ Allen, the linebacker last year at Georgia, and was still dealing with politics. So this is somebody that's a vet on the team,
But what are
somebody
those politics?
just like understanding that they're still trying to replace you, even though you are the face of the team, they're still trying to find a way to replace you. Um,
But what are the games that they play? You know, because that's the
yeah,
politic part,
yeah,
right? The politics
yeah.
is the game.
Some specific examples, like kind of just small moments where they're just playing with your mind, or like, say for example, me as a starter, I go out there and I loaf on a rep, which means just basically jogging. And that's not the standard of the program, right? And then the third string guy goes and does exactly what I just did, but the third string guy gets cussed out, but I don't. So for that third string guy to win on this program, he has to go 110%. Even the second string got 110%, and to get just like a small clap, and me as a starter will get for 90%, will get the largest clap just because I'm the starter. You know what I'm saying? And so that just kind of shows you when they're watching the starter, it's like he could do something like very simple and he gets the biggest of praise. But the second string guy could do something 10 times more and it's like, good job. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of just like, it's just a lot of brain play, like mental play. Like like for example, at Georgia Tech, head coach won't even like say anything to you in the hallway if you're not making plays. But as soon as you start making plays, hey, how you doing, man? You know what I'm saying? And so like it's something very small, but it's like, dang, coach said something to the starter that's right in front of me, that's walking right in front of me, but saw me right behind him and didn't say anything.
It almost becomes this, like, psychological warfare of,
That's
like
exactly what it is.
of looking at your coach of, like, approval and almost like, "How high can I jump?"
Yeah. And that even set me back as a player because I wasn't being myself when it came to the way I played. I was just trying to like get my coach's approval. Coach said he wants me to do this on film. So like I'm gonna just go try to do what
Yeah,
he
your
wants me to
worth
do.
gets, like, tied to it.
Tied to it,
Yeah, and then
1000%.
that's the mental battle
Yes,
because
I would
then
have bad days just from
yeah,
having bad practices.
yeah, because it's like it's your worth and who you are is now being dictated by what your team or your coach or how practice is going,
1000%.
and that is a
Roller
roller coaster
coaster
of
goes up
emotion.
and down, up and
Yeah.
down.
Wow.
Yeah.
Um, I can only imagine, like, the perspective of just imagining going into practice, like, on a football level, you
So
know?
much anxiety, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So much like nervousness, like heart would just always be heavy. Like that's probably the most I've cried over football ever. Like it just would feel so like heavy going to practice. Like just it would feel like the biggest game ever every day at practice. Cause it's just like if this doesn't go right, this is the end of the world. Like that's just how it felt every single day.
So, I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
What made you not give up after Georgia Tech?
Yeah, I mean, there's a plethora of things like really God kept me, was just so faithful throughout those times. And I was so fortunate to have people around me that just poured into me that were in Atlanta, family, mentors, that just poured into me and kept me there. And then I loved the game way too much to just, I was never going to let a man, a coach, or even a staff make me feel like I don't want to do this anymore. Like this, I've been playing this game since I've been 5 years old. Like this is what I love to do, and I love everything about it. And this was just one of those things to me where it was like, we got to find a way. You know what I'm saying?
So, if you could just, like, put a message out of, just speak in your own opinion of what you think, a healthy football culture could look like,
Yeah.
what would you say, at
I
least?
mean, I'm not just saying it because I'm here, but like we have it here at FIU, a culture where you're chasing excellence, you're chasing a standard for sure. Like when you roll out of bed, you want to chase a standard every day. You don't want to create a culture where it's lax, where guys just come in and just kind of do whatever. But you also want to create room for mistakes. We're humans. We are going to make mistakes, especially in practice. That's what practice is for you to make a mistake, move on and grow from it. Do not make the same mistake. It should not be a culture where you feel like every day you cannot make a single mistake or your head is going to get cut off. So a culture in which the whole program in itself collectively moves in one direction and chases a standard. We set a standard and we all chase that. But if somebody forgets to do something upstairs as far as like administration, it's not the end of the world. As if a wide receiver drops the ball at practice, it's not the end of the world. If a freshman has a missed assignment. It's not the end of the world. Now the problem becomes when when you're a repeated offender. You know what I'm saying? Don't make the same mistake twice will be the biggest thing, and that's something that here, like, they just do a great job. Like, coming here, my mental health just spiked because they created a space where I felt like I could make a mistake and not be like just condemned and just like total just thrown in a fire for it. You know what I'm saying? And so that's how I would build a culture.
What's more important, the wins and the success, or developing as a person and having a good mental health and a good team culture?
I think that's a good point that you make because a lot of people can't say that. If you do fall, if you do have a mistake, like, it's good while you're winning, like, it's good, but it just leaves guys in such a mentally unstable mental state. Like, that's good if your purpose is to just win games and use athletes and not develop them. Because once you're done with that athlete, once you're like, okay, you can't perform for me anymore, that athlete is mentally drained, that athlete is physically drained because of the sport that we play, and you leave the athlete with nothing.
So do you think that, like, have you seen that even, like, in teammates that you've had, like, where it's, like, really affected them in a
Yes.
pretty poor, extreme way?
Yes, 1000%. At Georgia Tech, there were so many guys that just you can just see it in the locker room. Like, we loved each other to death and we were all brothers, but you can just see it in some guys, like, they were just spiraling. It's really sad. It's really sad to see some of guys that transferred, some guys that just step away from football all because of, like, all in all with dealing with injuries and the mental side of, what football comes with, and not just football because it's not everywhere in the country. So I learned being here, but being at Georgia Tech.
Yeah. And do you think that that's also why a lot of athletes find faith when they are, like, on their own in college because
Yes.
they're dealing with a lot of these things
Yes.
and God kind of becomes like, the foothold in their life?
Yes, 1000%. Like, I really do not know what I would have done without, like, my godly community that really was intentional about pouring into me, checking in on me, and, you know, just being an ear for me. Like, that's really what got me through those times. And um, if I didn't have that, I'm like, it would have been so much worse for me.
I noticed you are expressive through your Instagram
Mhm,
a
a little
bit.
bit, sometimes.
You refer to yourself as a broken vessel. What is the meaning behind, being a broken vessel?
Yeah, I think broken vessel is like uh refers to my faith, right? Like, I'm I'm a broken sinner just like anybody else, and I'm just somebody that chooses, that has been chosen to be a vessel for God, for His glory, for His light. And so I think that phrase kind of uh, shows humility in a sense. That's how I kind of see it. It's just like a humility thing. Like, we are all on the same page. A lot of people feel like they're too far from guys, especially guys in this industry. Like, this is also, just being honest, is a very worldly industry.
Wait, I've never heard somebody actually say that. I've never heard somebody refer to sports as that. And you're giving me a different perspective because I've always felt like faith and sports
Go
were
together.
connected
Yeah.
and went together. So it's interesting to hear you say that, which is also why I'm saying you're giving me a different perspective of how God works
Mhm.
in this. So
Yeah,
keep going.
1000%.
Sorry.
Yeah, and so, um, yeah, just being in a worldly industry, a lot of times, God and sports, it's often perceived to go together by the outside, but then, like I said, once you step in the inside, he's like, "Okay, well, this may be a little fake, like, or a front or a persona." A lot of guys just like tie it to their name, but aren't really chasing after Jesus, and so a lot of guys just feel like they've done too much, in the world. They've sinned too much. They've just uh, are too far away from God for God to come in their life and, like, use them, and so that's where the broken vessel comes, because I'm like relating to y'all, like, listen, bro, like, just because I've become more mature than you may be in Christ right now, does not mean that God can't bring you from where you are to being mature in Christ. And so that's kind of where that comes from. Another thing, like, showing them that you can be all of the things. You can be fly, you can be cool, you can, uh, be a guy that hangs around his brothers and still chase the Lord. Oftentimes people feel like especially in sports, like feel like, oh, that church stuff is like for like nerds or like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like that's not, bro. Jesus for everybody. Like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, for sure. I want to speak on my captions though. What was the question that you asked me about?
Starved for so long.
Yeah, just like I felt that's crazy you picked that one because like I no, I really hold so near. I'm surprised you didn't pick the nobody coming to save you one because I say that a lot. But
Nobody coming to save you. I mean, that's
yeah,
true too. Speak on
yeah,
it.
it's just like in my career, like my short-lived college career, I've been through so much, right? And just like the work that I put in that has been unseen. You know what I'm saying? The nights that I cried that have been unseen, the things that I've done that have been unseen. It's just like I really starved for so long to get to this point to where it's like I finally feel like the stage is set before me for me to win, you know? So that's kind of one of those things. And nobody coming to save you. It's something that I made like a mindset perspective shift. I remember you asked me about kind of what was the one of the perspective shift through my brother on those balconies. Is just nobody's coming to save you. And so that's something that I posted all throughout May last year and even a little bit this year too. And it just means like because like when coming out of Georgia Tech, there was a sense of, my pride wouldn't want me to say this, but like there was like a sense of like, well, like Georgia Tech like hurt me a little, like the stuff I went through is real. But you cannot live in those emotions forever, or else you'll just stay stagnant. So I was still kind of living in that, like, Georgia Tech hurt me and college football, just a very like sad kind of approach
Yeah, the
to,
pain.
yeah, the
Mhm.
pain part of it, just dealing with those emotions. And he was kind of able to open my eyes to like, bro, if you don't get up and go get it or do it for yourself, you know what I'm saying, with the help of God's hand and that being the will for your life, obviously. But if you don't go and get it, it's not gonna get done. And for some reason, that like flipped the switch in my mind. Like it's just like, wow, like nobody is coming to like, come on, Anthony, like let's help you go to the NFL, like, and hold my hand and bring me there. It's like, wow, I'm at the NFL. Like, thank you, whoever grabbed my hand.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't get up and move, you will stay right here the
Right.
whole time. And it's just like, wait, like, wow. I don't know why that was so prolific to me, but it was just like a light switch. And when I started posting it, like it seemed to be really prolific to a lot of other like, teammates, friends, that play at other schools and things like that, because then they started posting it and like we'll be
Little
working out.
influencer,
Yeah, they
okay.
would be posting it and like nobody coming to save you. And so it's just something that like I kind of live by
Yeah.
now. Like nobody's coming to save you. I'm at the point to where it's like I'm transitioning from a young man to like, well, a boy to a young man. And so it's like, mom isn't there to like do everything for you, and mom isn't there to tell you what to do and do this and how basically to line you up for success. So now it's really hitting like you have to create the life you want. So that was really prolific to me. I just wanted to talk about that because that's something I love. I love my captions. That's like low key like one of my favorite things.
Well, I'm glad I was able to
Yeah.
mention it. Now bringing it all the way here to the 305 to
Yeah.
FIU. We'll see you on this field this fall.
Absolutely.
Being here at FIU, what has it been like? Why did you choose to come here? What was the pathway?
Yeah, being here has been such a blessing. Just from the opportunity to go and just show the world who I am as a player, the opportunity to come in and be developed every single day, be under one of the best and the most proven head coaches there is in the state of Florida. Being amongst a staff that, brings back uh, that emotional, loving family feel that you don't get at most programs. It's been a blessing. It's been a blessing. Like it's like God had me go through the fire to be able to see the light, you know? And so that's kind of like how I would explain the transition from Georgia Tech to here. It's just been such a blessing. I'm just super grateful for the guys and the teammates, my brothers that I go to war with every day. Like it's just a blessing just to be here.
And what are you most excited for this season?
I'm most excited for some reason. Actually, no, I was gonna say playing Jack State, but week one, I'm really excited. Like I said, like I feel like finally the odds have been stacked in my favor. You know, due to the the work, honestly, and God's hand. But I finally feel like this is gonna be a big year for me. And week one will be in Tampa at my hometown
Oh,
playing
that's great.
USF. It'll be
Yeah,
Brian Hartline's their head coach's debut,
let's go.
head coach debut. So it'll be a lot of media coverage and a lot of family and a lot of friends seeing my first game as like the real number one guy. So it'll be really exciting. So I'm excited for week one.
And what should we expect out of Anthony Carrie this fall on the field?
Yeah, man.
Number one.
That sounds so crazy to hear. I've been number 6 for so long. Wow. But no, a player that's gonna definitely impact the game. Just be special. Be special with the ball in his hands. Be special. Be a great leader to us guys. And bring some more wins to the 305.